gonna say this. Okay, there are two Ukrainian influencers. One is 8 years old. She's apparently Brittany. She stalked her profile on Instagram. She's like a real like legit model, whatever. There's an 8-year-old girl and a 13-year-old boy.
Oh, bitch.
They are quote unquote married and living together. The girl's dad is like, this is a stunt, and the parents of the girl's mom and the boy's parents are like, oh well, we let them live their own lives. And
what the hell,
girl, and so
sound about white.
Girl,
Yeah, I was about to say that's some white people shit.
Right, I'm like,
Hi, everybody.
hello, Juwan.
Hello.
Long time no see.
I've been busy.
I know. I see your Facebook and Instagram. I know that you're busy jet setting and shooting model females and they're half naked and shit. I see you.
They're mostly always naked. Almost. But that's by their request.
Fair enough.
All right. I don't feel prepared for that.
Wait. Are they married or dating?
They are
married.
They are married. According to the LA Times, they are married and living together. And the girl's mom's okay with that, and both the boys' parents are okay with that. The girl's dad allegedly found out via the news that this was happening in the first place. And I'm like, we need to talk about this shit now.
What?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, when did they get married? Because I saw a story the other day.
Okay, the first story I saw was like March 18th, so it's like 10 days ago. And then Brittany sent me the story again. First it just said they were dating, and I was like, oh, okay, cool, good, wonderful. And then like I see, the world news on, in Australia that says they were dating, and on the 18th, I'm married on the 18th. I'm like, okay, fine, cool, whatever. The LA Times, because my thing's like this might be fake news, you know what I mean? Because this comes from another country, I can't source it, whatever. The LA Times reports on it 3 days ago, so I'm like, oh shit, this must be legit.
You didn't believe it when I believed it, but I thought it was just like, even though it wasn't, I don't know. Why are people sexualizing kids so much?
Thank you.
Like, it's weird. Like, it's, oh gosh.
Like, I'm disgusted.
Like, what do they know about being in a relationship?
Thank you.
About themselves?
Thank you, because at first I was thinking, okay, maybe this is just a sham marriage. They're just putting these pictures together because Brittany saw the Instagram, whatever. I guess they took out the post down, whatever. I'm thinking maybe they're putting these pictures together, for, just for the appearance of. But like the parents, like, oh no, we encourage the relationship. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. Like I said before, his balls ain't dropped. She doesn't have a menses yet. I'm like, he still legally can be babysat. I'm like, what in what world is this like even remotely okay? In the 21st century, because like I was telling Brittany, I'm like,
what coming to? Like, I just don't understand.
Girl,
not for this. I'm like,
what did you say, nigga?
Like that's all I got for this. I'm like, I'm still like Brittany. She sent me this message. She's like, Michael, I'm done with the internet. And she's like, and she's like, fuck the O and all that stuff, whatever. I'm done. And I'm like, you know what? I can fault her for that because honestly, like reading this, like, because I read about it earlier before, and I'm like, oh, I'll cover that in a video, but I need to make sure that this is legit, can be substantiated, whatever. And I'm like,
So new development. The mother is potentially being charged for all of the photos that the children have been taking.
Good.
Considering that it would be child pornography for some of them. Good. What the fuck? What type of... That's what I'm trying to find out. They disabled the little girl's account fully. Oh my God. The only pictures that I can really see are the ones on his. But they've been doing Instagram lives. This is just disgusting.
Like I was
people are sick, man. People are just sick. Some people just should not.
For clout.
I mean, I just don't think everybody should be able to bring life into this world. I'm sorry.
Right.
Exactly.
Like, I agree. I'm like,
absurd.
if I have to get a fucking car insurance, I have to get fucking health insurance. You need to have like a license for kids and for a license for my car shit. You need a license to have a fucking kid. I'm sorry.
Right. I agree. This is wild.
I mean, most people can't even get married without fucking counseling beforehand. Somehow this is okay.
Those children don't know themselves yet. Like, they're just getting... He's about to be... No, he's a teenager. You said he was 13? I thought he was 11. When I saw it, I thought he was 11.
Either way.
He looks 11. But no, he's 13. So he's a teenager, and he's coming into himself. She doesn't even know what a lot of being, adults don't know what it is to be, really know what it is to be in a relationship. Like, you have a whole other personality that you have to not cater to, but that you have to
work around.
Basically, yes. How do you do that at that age? Why would you have to worry about working around someone else's personality at that age? That's not something you should have to worry about.
See, my thing is not even so much that.
This shit is just sick. Like, this is crazy.
My thing is not so much that. It's like, even if they do like each other, whatever, which is fine, that's cute. Do you, be you, and be great. And what world is it okay to, as a parent, to sit there and say, and I quote, we're going to let our kids live their own lives. And I'm like, and they are okay with this relationship. I'm like, when I was younger, I had crushed on people that were older than me, whatever. Fine, cool, that's cute. That being said, I'm not in relationships with you. My parents aren't okay with that. My parents aren't letting me, as an 8 or 13-year-old, say, oh, you know what? We'll let you live your life the way you want to live your life. I'm like, excuse the fuck out of me. Like, I'm 30 years old, and I still tell my parents, I'm like, I want to do this, I'm thinking about this, whatever. And we have these conversations. Why is it okay for you to think, oh yeah, my little kid, autumn snowflake blossom can do whatever the fuck they want when they want because they're bringing in the dough. That's what I think it is. I think if this kids were making money, this would not be the way it is now, because I think this is all for clout. But it's disgusting that you put your kid up to this in the first place.
I can understand at 13 you wanting to cater. Not understand it, because I don't think that you should just cater to your child because they cater to everything that your child wants just because they have money. But I could see at 13 how that could cause, like, parents and, a preteen to, like, start to butt heads. But at 8 years old, this girl has been walking this earth for 8 years. There's so much about life that she has not experienced yet.
Think about it this way.
To allow her to have to fend for herself is basically what you're doing.
Right.
You're making her have to fend for herself and figure things out that she should not have to figure out at that age.
Right.
He's going to be 14 or 15. He's probably, I'm sure that he's, like, sexually, like, he's at an age where sex is a thing that he's thinking about, and a lot. Like, and she's 8 years old. That's probably not even something that's on her radar.
Right.
Why would you allow your daughter to be? Why would you put your daughter in this type of situation? She cannot make decisions on her own. She needs you, and for you to just let her make decisions on her own. As a child, her brain isn't even developed yet. Like, what the fuck is wrong with her?
Allegedly. With all that out there.
Because I just feel like these people are pimping out their kids.
Pretty much.
Like, cause it sounds to me like the mom is just another Jenner, Kardashian.
I said something to Brittany earlier.
Like, she's pimping out her daughter for a few minutes of fame, and she's nasty. Like, I feel bad for the little girl.
Like, me too, because I'm like, honestly.
Like, this 13, 11-year-old, whatever boy, he's a pedophile, whether he's a child or not.
Whoa.
That's gross. That is utterly disgusting.
I wouldn't say all that.
Ooh, that's gross.
I wouldn't say all that. Look.
The reason I wouldn't say he's a pedophile is because he really doesn't understand. He doesn't understand sex. He doesn't really. I'm sure he knows what sex is, but at 13, who really understands, like, sex? Like, you understand that, like, if you're fondling with yourself, like, you understand the pleasure that you've gotten from it. But there's so many other aspects of sex that go along with life other than just the physical. I can't get over the fact that the little girl is 8. I can't get over the fact that he's 13 either.
I must say,
she's only been out of the womb for 8 fucking years.
See, my thing is like this about the pedophile thing, because honestly, that kind of just hit me in the wrong spot. When you think about it, like, people, because honestly, look at this boy, he doesn't look anything older than 11. This girl looks around her age, whatever. If you're a kid, you're not going through puberty, you haven't gone through the change yet, whatever, theoretically speaking, most kids are usually androgynous looking or look around the same age, look childlike anyway. So again, it goes back to that puppy love thing, whatever. So to say he's a pedophile because this girl is younger than him, when theoretically, especially on maturity levels, they're around the same age, it's not the same thing. Like,
I can agree with that.
Like, if it's one thing, like, like I was telling Brittany, before, like, historically speaking, like, there'll be people who are in their 20s and 30s marrying 13, 14-year-old girls. Now, in that instance, for sure.
That's nasty as fuck.
Yes. But in this situation, I wouldn't go as far as to call him that, because, again, I don't think he knows himself like that, whatever. I don't think that he was checking for her like that. But these parents made it like that. And this is something I don't think even Chris Jenner would do. I'm sorry. Like,
This is wild, man.
When it comes to like the 8-year-old and 13-year-old, I was just talking to someone about this, and they were, I think they're 20, and they were like, "Yeah, your generation." I'm just like, no. Like your generation is like the all-inclusive, you know, everything's PC shit. You know, sometimes some things aren't okay, and that's okay. You know, like there has to be a stance on something. You know, people have to stand for something. There's always going to be an opposing party if there is, you know, a cause, a righteous one, or however, you know. But like, at what fucking point do we, as a society, draw the line? Like, there's so many lines being drawn. You know what I mean?
right.
So,
Well,
I'm going to say this again. I'm going to hope and pray that this is all for fame and, like, shock value. That these kids are not actually consummating their marriage. Pray to God. And any child that says, I want to get married and have, you know, even if the little girl was like, hey, I want to go have a wedding. Great, fine, go play with your doll. Like, there's no reason to have these children who don't even know what marriage truly is being married.
Yeah, man.
like I'm 30, and like, and I tell people all the time, like, I'm too young to get married at 30. There's just no way, because again, going back, I have nieces and nephews around their age. I could never fix my mouth at 8 years old and be like, oh yeah, I want to get married for real. Bitch, no, we can play house. Okay, we can get, what the dolls called, Barbie and Skipper and Ken, and we can work that shit out, but we're not going to sit there and do this shit for real. But the thing is, they live together. I'm like, hold the phone. Like, it's one thing to date somebody, whatever, that's in that age bracket, but to live with them, now to know their idiosyncrasies on top of that, this girl and this, they're going to be scarred.
With that, though, Michael, it could be something as simple as the parents happen to be friends. One of the parents was, you know, lost their job, lost their home. That's why they put their kids on the fucking internet to begin with. And now they live together because the parents technically live together. But now the parents have gone and spun this shit in a really nasty, fucked up way.
Like, I can't substantiate whether or not the parents live together or not, but all I know is that the parents are out there talking to the press in Kiev, talking about it's not you know, down to us to tell them how to live their lives. I'm like, yes, it is. You're the fucking parents. Your job is to tell these kids how to walk the straight and narrow.
It definitely is.
Like, I'm not saying you should control little motherfuckers, you know, or I'm sorry, I can't say that about children, little ankle biters, whatever. But like, it's like, no, you're not there to control them, but you're there to guide them, and this is not proper parental guidance. And I'm mad at the father on top of that. I'm like, how the fuck do you not know what's going on with your 8-year-old daughter when you find shit on the world news?
Exactly. Jesus. Like, how involved is he? Because how do you not come? Oh my God, ain't no way. Right.
On the world fucking
Ain't
news.
no way he didn't know what was going on.
I know she's a social media influencer. And I'm still trying to figure out who the fuck goes to an 8-year-old for influence. I'm sorry, like, no shade.
They're 8-year-olds. That's why they shouldn't be living together.
No, because me and Brady are talking about this. Like, you can't legally have social media until you're 14 years old. So no 8-year-old should be on any social media whatsoever. So who the fuck are you influencing?
Right. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, legally you can't be on certain social media sites. The youngest age period is 13.
Because if you remember
So
back
how
in the
hell
MySpace
did they
days,
get on social media, whether it's run by their parents or not, in order to monetize it. Any monetization that they've done should legally be taken back because they're not of the age to get it.
and it's child labor laws. And then on top of that, it's like, you think about it, back in the MySpace days, we're dating ourselves here, but back in the MySpace days, we had to be 14 to get a MySpace. And you remember, you had that, it was had that slick ass kids like, oh, I'm 13 to get my MySpace. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. But it's like, there's always a minimum age, and it's like 8 years old is not old enough to be influencing anybody. So my thing's like this: who are you influencing? If you're influencing little teenagers, whatever, why the fuck? When I was 14, my sister was what? Jalea was 8 or 9. 9. She was influencing me. Not like that. Like, and for boys, I can see maybe like, oh, I like his Tonka truck, whatever. But it's like, I don't understand how the fuck these people have 590,000 followers and 95,000 followers, whatever, when y'all aren't even of age to have social media.
No, I wouldn't put it past a lot of their followers being pedophiles. I wouldn't put anything past that.
I agree with that 1,000%.
Girl, all I know is I feel like Erica Dixon on Love and Hip Hop. I'm disgusted. Like, what are your values? What are your morals as a mother? Just like,
Wow, man.
I'd light that bitch up. Like, and I know I'm supposed to be calling people that shit kind of derogatory, whatever. But who gives a fuck? We're all friends here. If I would see her mother right now, I'd light that bitch up. I'm like, how fucking dare you pimp out your child internationally like that, and think there'll be no ramifications.
Well, she's clearly gonna be paying the price for it if she isn't already.
Now, but like, I'm sure when she did this, she also thought it was okay, or she wouldn't did it in the first place.
Right. She just wonder what's going on behind closed doors with these children, if this is something that their parents are exposing them to right now.
Like, girl, like, I'm just, Jesus, fix it. I just can't. And then the boys' parents, we don't know shit about them, whatever. So it's like, what the fuck are y'all saying to your child, like to your son, like, oh yeah, hey son, yeah, we need you to just, go up to this little girl here and act like you like her and shit like that, and we want to monetize this a little bit and get the chingle secure the bag.
Right.
Like, what the fuck do you? I'll give you a lollipop if you do what I tell you. Like, what the fuck do you tell these kids to go with this shit?
I mean, they're children, and this just goes along the lines of so many different things of where children these days are, instead of being directed into have like a system, a structure developed for them, they choose what they want. They tell the adult, they tell the person administering whatever it is, and they advocate for it, like whatever the cause might be. So, it to me is like of the days. And I'm not surprised anymore.
That's fair.
Like, is there anything to prevent it? I don't know. There's child marriages all over the fucking world. At least you're not getting married to a 4-year-old, I guess. Like,
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, face it, Lord Jesus.
I'm just saying, it happens.
I know. Like, historically, it happens quite a bit, but God, like, that's just not the same. Like, I'm still like, the only thing I can say.
It's not the same, but I'm just saying, like, like, she's a child, she's getting married, she's in a child, she's in a relationship, she's a child, she's in love, he's in love. Like, as a kid, your parents would be like, you don't even have nerves. Like, your nervous system didn't even develop yet. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You don't know nothing about love. You don't know suffering.
Well, they're gonna find out because marriage is suffering.
These kids are saying that, and people are proclaiming it. So what are you gonna do?
God bless them.
It's on the internet, so
That's fair. That I don't even know what to say. Like I'm still stunned by that. Like, again, all I can say is, like, what did you say, nigga? That's all. Like, I'm just like, I can't believe somebody will fix their mouth to actually put it out there in the public in the first place. I'm like, yeah, my kid is 8 and she's getting married to a 13-year-old, and that's okay.
As a father, I'm kicking ass. I'm kicking ass. Like, my 8-year-old daughter can't come to me telling me she's in love with a 13-year-old, or anybody for that matter, but definitely a 13-year-old.
I mean, she can say it, but you ain't acting on it. You can say it, but you can't act on it. Shit, I was 8 and had a crush on Bow Wow and Romeo, but I ain't getting married.
Exactly, like, I could not come home and see my little daughter sitting on some little boy lap. Oh my God, I would die.
I'm getting mad for you. I'm like, oh, hell no.
Why y'all holding hands? Baby. You're an independent woman. What's going on?
It's because we black, and we don't say that.
Oh, I wouldn't say all that now.
I'll just say our generation, because, like, the one before us, I don't know. I mean, if you look at certain...
I don't even want my son having a girlfriend.
Hey, man, I don't want my sons having girlfriends. I don't want my daughter having a boyfriend until they in their, like, late 30s. Like, y'all need to experience life.
Fuck all that. Fuck that.
My son was like, you tell a little girl, like, some little girls like you. He's like, what do you like about me? she's like, you're cute. He's like, well, I don't think that's enough. I can't have a girlfriend, my dad said, so.
For real. I'm like, honestly, if I ever had a kid, it'd be like fucking Hamlet. Get thee to a nunnery. No, we ain't doing that.
I'm not playing with him. You gotta stay focused. Because, like, I feel like when you're a young kid, young teenager, young adult, you know, sometimes, you know, unless you really got it, like, you choose, like, it's really either love or money, like, love or success. You know what I mean? You can survive, you could be affluent, you can have and build a structure and a foundation with somebody, but, you know, if you just really, like, focus on your goals and make sure that you are who you want to be, you found yourself, and got rid of all the conditioning and toxic shit you came with, you know yourself closer to whoever you want to be, let it be God or whatever, you know, like, you can come as a complete package. And you don't just, you know, you just want to do whatever it takes to make whatever it is you got working. So, you know,
I just
take it from yourself.
I don't know. Like, again, like I said before, like, honestly, my kids, if I ever have kids, God forbid, is like, look, it'll be some Hamlet type shit. I'm like, you know, you're my daughter, you become a nun. If you're my son, you become brother, father, Reverend Kennedy. We ain't playing that shit. No.
I would not want to live that Reverend life.
I don't either, but I'm just saying, like,
maybe the church popping, who knows? Like, what's going on in
like if my kids end up winding up anything like me, especially, like, I'm like, no, we need to take your ass to get saved quickly. We're not doing that. No. You ain't getting married. You ain't having girlfriends. You ain't having boyfriends. You ain't having nothing but these four walls and daddy. No, we ain't doing that.
And a textbook, a history book or something, but.
Okay? No Facebook. No, you'll be getting this history. You'll be getting these good braces. Nah.
Yeah, not Facebook, no Instagram, no social media until you like 63.
Right,
you don't even know how to use the current technology.
Right, you have daddy and Jesus. That's it. Like, no, we're not doing that. Tell me, who's your girlfriend, Dad? Who's your girlfriend, Jesus?
For real, ain't no boyfriend, girlfriend.
Right. Who's your wife, the Virgin Mary?
And it's funny. In this conversation, like hearing us talk like that, but then it's like the crazy reality is like it ain't gonna be like that. I mean, ideally in a perfect world, yeah, but it's like just thinking back on my life and the things that I've done in like the last 15 years. It's like, geez, like I'm terrified. Like, if anything, that scares me the most about having kids. Like, just thinking about all the stuff that I did. Not even like things that have occurred or things that have happened to me, but just things that I made the conscious decision to do. And it's just like, they're not like, my kids, please, Lord, don't let them be wilding out. If they do it behind closed doors where nobody can see it, or nobody can tell me they did it, I don't want to do it. Like, because it's a whole lot that I did in my life in the last 15 years. And I'm just like, Jesus, like, I got kids. And then they go have kids, and then it's like they're gonna understand why mom never let them go to parties and why mom didn't do this and that. Cause my mom never, like, unless she knew the parents, my mom wouldn't let me go spend the night at nobody's house.
Hello. I remember my mom was like that. She's like, if you got anything from like another kid, whatever. She's like, where's your note? I'm like, I gotta have a note. Like, if there was no note or no explanation, we wasn't gonna get it.
And like I was talking to somebody, somebody's mom recently about how like back in the 90s, like when like we were growing up, like your parents wanted to know like whose like house you were going to, because the most I feel like back then they had to worry about is do they have a gun in the house? But nowadays, like, I don't care if you got a gun, a dog, or nothing. My kid is not going to your house. Like,
might be a trap house.
Like, luckily he does have like 2 little friends, and I'll let him like go with them for a few hours or whatever. But otherwise, hell no. I have done everything that I could possibly do in the last 11 years to protect my child, and I'll be damned if something ever happens to him on my watch. Like, I don't think so. Because I, like, even as a single parent for so long, like, I feel like I've done a very good job. I don't give myself the credit that I feel like I deserve, but it's like, I need to pat myself on the back a lot more. Because my son, he's smart as hell. He always gets good grades in school. He talks a lot. But, like, I mean, shit, he's a kid. But he's a good kid did though, and I did that majority by myself and like with the help of my family. So it's like I want to protect my kids at all costs, but at the same time, I am very, very unfortunately aware that they have to live their own life and make their own decisions and make their own mistakes. I honestly hope that none of them become teenage parents, because if anything, screw up your life any way you want, but just do not have kids before you're somewhat ready to do so.
Which is why I won't have kids, if I do have kids, until I'm at least 32.
I don't think you'll be ready, Michael. Isn't that like in 2 years?
Look.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Wait, let me explain. Let me explain the logic behind this. When I turned 16, my father turned 50. Right. Here's the thing. I don't want to be that guy or that dad who is old, who looks old with children in high school. So for me, it's like, look, if I have a little motherfucker, fine, cool. But I want to make sure that I'm under 50, that I'm not doing that Janet Jackson type of shit, whatever, so I can still be young and have energy, so I can still be young and look young and be on your ass you try to foul shit.
Exactly. You can lay their ass out in the middle of the living room floor and you ain't got to worry about pulling a hip.
See, I didn't say all that, but like, I didn't say all that.
For me, like, I just had my last, like, I tell everybody, they're like, oh, do you want another one? I'll slap you if that comes out your mouth. I mean, considering, like, I started having kids early. None of them were planned. I prayed for the middle one.
No, my fault. I gotta go, guys. Sorry.
All right.
Good talking to you.
See you later.
Later.
But, like, I didn't plan any of my kids. All of them were unplanned. I did pray for the middle one. But I didn't expect her to come within, or at least, like, me to conceive within 3 weeks of me praying that prayer.
Wow.
But ultimately, like, I tell everybody now, I don't want any more kids after 30. And I did good for myself. Because my son, everybody was like, oh, well, teenage parents usually have another baby within 2 years. I'm not dating nobody. I'm not seeing nobody. Me and the dad aren't together. I don't want him and he don't want me.
Hello.
So I mean, ultimately, like, don't put me in that whole statistical bracket of, oh, I'm going to be the 26-year-old with 8 kids. Like, no, boo. That's not how it's going to go down. I didn't have my second until my oldest was 9. And then I just had the newest baby a month ago. And so, like, I did good for myself. I said I didn't want any more kids after 30. I turned 30 in 3 months. I'm not having no more kids. I'm going to tell my doctor, look, lady, take it. Take all of it. I don't want it. There's no use for it. Take it out. Burn them. Do what you got to do, but I don't want no more kids. Like, I want to be able to, like, enjoy my kids while they're young. I want to be as involved in their lives as possible without being, like, too involved to where they're pushing me away. But I just want to enjoy life now without being pregnant, without being hormonal all the time, without my back hurting 24/7. Like, pregnancy is no joke, and this last one was very rough.
See, I guess for me, what it comes down to, it's like,
And I'm even gonna get to a point where I'm like, I actually want to do this. Because I told you like 4 times. I said 26 didn't happen. I said 28 didn't happen. I said 30 and was like, oh fuck, I still don't want this to happen. And now I'm 32 and I'm still not at a place where it's like, I want to have them. I just don't want to have them yet. And
right.
I don't know when I'm going to want to have them. And I'm afraid that it's probably never going to happen because I'm probably never going to want to have them.
Right. That's
It
fair.
doesn't mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, and if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen whether you're ready or not. Because I was never ready. I was never ready. And it happened. But like I said, I did a kick-ass job of raising my kids.
See, I guess it's different for me because I'm a man, so I have to plan mine out.
Because that's no easy feat, especially if you've had to do it on your own.
Right.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, and especially like juggling work and school and having a kid. Oh my Lord, I don't know how I got through it, but God was there with me every step of the way. That's all I got.
I guess for me, like, as a gay guy, like, I have to plan my kids out, so y'all got lucky. Like, he's like, oh, my kid's unexpected. Like, for me, like, if I want kids, I actively have to plan out for it. Because, again, I don't fuck women, so I have to go find a woman. I have to go get her pregnant. Hopefully not the old-fashioned way, because that's gross. And also, whatever. So, actually, I actually have to act. If I ever have kids, I actually would have to actively plan it out. there's no other way around it. So for me, it's like there can be no I'm not ready. I'm like, well, no, because I consciously made the choice to seek you out, get you pregnant at this time because I felt like I was ready for it. So like, look, here come hell or high water, here we go. But again, as far as I'm concerned, I'd rather wait until later in life, not too late, because I'm like, I want to know myself. I want to be more secure in myself. I want to, start to have that settle down situation happening. And for men, it doesn't happen to your 30s. So I would always advocate for people, especially men, to not have kids so early in life, because you get people who are like my father, who are the runaway dad or the runaway bride.